California to West Africa, coming home at last. Yeah, home at last.
Hey, bonjour YouTube, welcome back to California to West Africa. Man, I have just discovered something that really infuriated me this morning, and I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to talk about this financial Darwinism that the government has essentially done to men. So let me just start by saying that a lot of guys have been watching my channel. They see me coming over to West Africa, just like a lot of people have videos about going to the Philippines and Thailand, and maybe they're on a fixed income and they want to go move abroad, find a more traditional woman, start a life. You know, they're essentially priced out of America, and it's so much easier to go abroad and meet traditional younger women, create a life overseas. And a lot of people have done financial breakdowns on how to do that and the cost of living for those countries. But here's something that I haven't heard anybody talk about. And let me just I want to talk about a personal friend of mine. His name is Robert. And Robert, through no fault of his own, he's in his working age years. He's 40, around 40-ish. And through no fault of his own, he has become disabled. Not completely disabled, but enough disability to where he recently was granted his disability. And if anyone's ever collected disability or SSDI, you know that those payments are anywhere between $900 and $1,500 a month. I don't know exactly. Maybe someone in the comments can tell me. But basically, some of these guys watch my channel and they think, oh yeah, hey, I'll just come. Maybe they don't want to come live in a different country like I do. Or maybe some of these other guys, they like their life in America, even though they're strapped. And because of their situation, they still, in their core of being men, many men want to start families. And they want to have a spouse, and they want to have love, and they want to have companionship. It's natural, right? And so he recently, after he got his disability, he kind of told me a little bit. He goes, man, I want to start a family like you and maybe go live abroad, but the situation is that he needs the American healthcare system to survive. He's got some serious issues that he needs ongoing medical care. So, dummy me, this is why I don't like giving advice on my channel, because everybody's situation is different. But I said, because he's a good friend of mine, I said, hey Robert, man, I know plenty of beautiful women over here that are younger that would love to come to America. I normally say, don't bring a woman to America, and here's why.
I'm single now. I was married for last 11 years with American men, and we got divorced last year.
And then when did you move to the United States?
It was 2015.
So, okay, you've been here
10 years, yeah. I do have my citizenship.
Through your husband?
Of course, yeah. American men bring me here.
And then
now
you divorced him? Yeah.
No, I didn't. It was not my choice.
Well, who initiated the divorce?
Me.
Do you have kids?
Yes, we have a daughter. She's going to be 9.
Does he pay you alimony?
Yeah, of course. It's just American law.
Are you guys living in the same city?
Well, he's visiting us in Denver every once in a while, but he's traveled a lot for work. But
so you have full custody of your child?
No, it's not whole custody. It's 50-50.
So he pays you child support and alimony?
Yeah.
How long does he have to pay you alimony for?
I think it's 3.5 years or something, or 4.
How much does he pay you per month?
I'm not gonna say that.
I don't think people should pay alimony.
The laws are really rigged against men, and honestly, it's put society in a place where men really don't want to get married, especially to American women, unfortunately. And so I think that's why you're seeing prenups become a lot more common.
Serving him with divorce papers is definitely one way of repaying the man who changed her whole life.
And so I told him, now in his situation, I was just in my brain, just off the top of my head, I thought, hey, well, since you're on disability, you could bring a woman to the United States and you wouldn't have anything to lose. That's just what, without putting any thought into it. Matter of fact, I was already scraping up some women that Michelle knows and that would love to have a white American and maybe go to America, or even if they came over here. Because if he brought his money over here, he would still be making more than 80% of the population, and he could form a life here, just like guys do in the Philippines. You can go there on a disability check or a modest income and survive. But his situation is that he can't really come live here because it would cut off from his medical care. All right, so I said, well, in this situation, why don't you meet a woman? I could hook you up. You can come stay with me. You could fly back and forth. I know that'd put a financial strain, but if he doesn't have to worry about food or lodging, because he's a good friend of mine, I said, I can put you up here and you can establish a relationship with a woman. And then you can just bring her back to the United States. So I started thinking about it, and then I was like, I just happen to, I use AI every day to kind of like a soundboard every day, and I just ask it questions. And I say, hey, so what would a man who's on disability have to do to get his woman back up? Oh, turns out you can't. You have to meet the standards you have to make 125% of the poverty line in America in order to even have a spouse come to America, which I think is about $2,250 a month as a minimum to bring a woman to the United States. Well, he misses that mark by several $1,000s. That's on top of not even being able to travel, go back, and because immigration is so strict, trying to filter out fraud, that they require you to prove that you have a legitimate relationship. And listen, and Robert's not trying to fraud in the United States, and through no fault of his own, he wants to have a family. Now, normally, so this is like a financial Darwinism on men. They put this cap on it to where now he's not economically viable to have a relationship in the United States because, let's be honest, I'll just say it raw. Women aren't going to want a man that is in a financial situation where they're on disability because they don't make any money. And then if he does get married, let's say if he gets lucky and meets a young woman that doesn't mind all that, unless she's going to be working too, as soon as they get married, her income is going to probably cut him off from his benefits. He would get cut off. So he's not economically viable for America. And what really struck me is that women in America can just have babies out of wedlock, have multiple babies with multiple men.
Congratulations to me. I just had another baby. Thank you, government, for taking care of our family.
And then they can and look, see, the more babies they have, the more financial assistance they get. But a man can't even bring one woman to the United States in a real relationship. So essentially, I know life's not fair. I already know that. And I kind of understand, because men create families. We are the gatekeepers to marriage. Women are the gatekeepers to sex. And they're not keeping that gate they got that gate wide open nowadays. And I just think it's so unfair. So he's stuck. This man is essentially priced out from procreating, having a relationship, having a companion in his life, and I don't know, it's just frustrating. So to see that. So yeah, I just think that's something that men should be aware of. So you have a couple options. Well, what are his options? His options: find a woman in the United States. Maybe she's on disability, so he's got to find a disabled woman as well. Or she's going to be older and then she can't have kids. Or his other option is to, go live in another country. Well, financially he could, in theory, do that. He could come to, say, Cote d'Ivoire very easily with $1,500 a month or $1,200 a month, live comfortably, have a nice, beautiful woman, traditional woman, and he could live here, but then no health care. He has ongoing medical issues that he's got with his Medicaid, Medicare, so he essentially can't do it. It's impossible.
Promise to always take care of you. Application denied. You do not meet the minimum income threshold.
So I just found that out, and this is one of those things where you say, well, what privileges do men have that women don't, or vice versa? Well, here's one. women can just continually have babies, continually get money from the taxpayers, and support their lifestyles through WIC, SNAP, Section 8, and they can just continue to drain the system. But a man can't. A man, in fact, there's no housing for him. There's no SNAP for him. Now, I think Robert does get like maybe $200 in food stamps or something like that. But when in his situation, he was fortunate enough to get some inheritance from a grandfather who passed away. He was able to buy a small trailer, wasn't huge. Bought a small trailer, has a car, but he's strapped like everybody else in America. Even though he gets help with his electric and gas bill, and this is all through no fault of his own. This is a guy who did work in his youth. He is a good guy. He's a handsome guy, but through no fault of his own, he's in this situation where he's now has no options for life. I mean, isn't it any wonder that? Now, I know that's not the typical situation. I don't know how many men are going through that, but I know one. So if I know one, there's got to be lots. A lot of guys have told me, "Hey, I would love to come to Africa and meet a woman and bring her back." But if you're not making at least $27,000 a year, you're not going to be able to bring her back. So, and then if you're working, how do you and you're making around that much? How do you travel? How do you go back? For me, I was very fortunate because I'm a disabled veteran. So I just was able to I'm over those thresholds, so I didn't have to worry about that. I went through other issues, with immigration and trying to bring a woman back, but otherwise, you don't want to bring a woman back to the United States, because as soon as you bring a woman back to the United States, just like in the clip that I showed from the whatever podcast, she'll become Americanized. All of a sudden, because see, when you're a white foreigner going to these other countries, you have elevated status. Your money goes further. Not only your money, but your status as an American is so inflated that it will be good here. Like, I always say that, Michelle and I have a good relationship. I don't want to bring her to America, not because Michelle doesn't deserve it or we have any kind of issues. I just know that the power imbalance will get upset by moving to America. All of a sudden, I will lose my status as a white American. My money there was never increased because I'm disabled, and then because she's educated, she will make 3 or 4 times what I would ever make, and then hypergamy will kick in. If you know, you know. I don't want to go too far in it because I know a lot of my viewers are not red pill manosphere type people. They don't even know what the hell I'm saying. As soon as you say red pill or the manosphere, you kind of get labeled, oh, he's a misogynist. Oh, he's one of those red pill guys. But you guys know if you know. So I just wanted to bring that in. I just wanted to show you. Now, I put together some graphics with AI just to show you that this is like financial Darwinism for men. So this is basically, so if Robert doesn't do something to work this out, problem solve it, I don't know how he was his bloodline ends with him, and that's sad, but that's just the cold hard reality. And it's I don't know, I keep wanting to say it's not fair, and this is what pisses me off. This is the further red pilling for guys. And you guys that are passport bros, that's another thing you can't mention in videos. You can't tell anybody you're a passport bro, because then they automatically pigeonhole you as some kind of, oh, I can't get women in America. I got to go to a different country so I can take advantage of poor people in other countries. It's ridiculous. I'm fortunate enough to be with a woman who has her doctorate, so none of those things apply to my situation. But even for me in America, when I was dating for a few years before I decided to go overseas, I got plenty of women in America, but some were overweight. Met a disabled woman. Even 2 of the women I dated a few Mexican women in California, and turned out both of them were illegal. They were and that was like the deal breaker on top of some other things. I could have dealt with that in another way, because one woman, she was a widow, her kids were grown, and that's the other thing, she was older. She still could make babies, but I wanted a family. So then she hit me with I'm also here illegally. Can you imagine dating some guy or some girl you're dating, and then 3, 4, 5, 6 months in, oh, by the way, I'm illegal. Fuck. So that kind of, now of course there's amnesty and there's all these other things. She had been in America for so long. I probably could have got around that, but and she was a widow, and then but then there were some other problems that popped up. So I've had, when you're older and you're not making 6 figures and you're not a high value man, because I'm not a high value man. I'm a high value man here. I'm a stud. Here I'm like, I can have my pick of women, and I'm respected here. So it just puts life on easy mode. Anyway, so that's the video. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comment section. Tell me if you guys knew this, and yeah. So just drop a comment in the comment section, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.